Hey everybody, welcome back to the Omnibus Collectors Network, the Manga Collectors Show, where twice a month we like to hijack the channel and talk some manga, everybody's favorite topic. But yeah, I am your host Gio, and today we're going to be going over the manga, well, not the solicits, more like the previews, I should say, for the month of January 2021, our first previews episode for the year 2021. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Halls and reads, unless my co host, which should be joining in a couple of minutes, has any, he will gladly share them with you. Any books that he might have gotten. I ordered some things from October of 2020 and they have not arrived. I have no idea where they are. So I could not show them off on this episode. Maybe on the next one. Who knows? Whenever that may be. But yeah, as for reads, I have not been reading that much except a couple series. I think I mentioned it on Omnibros, where I talked about finally finishing Tokyo Ghoul. I read it for the very first time. I was watching the anime, and uh, I liked the show, but I always wanted to give the original source material a try, and here we are. It took me a little while due to circumstances, and I finished it, and it was pretty interesting. A lot different, even though the plot is similar with the show, it's a lot different than what I remembered when I was watching it, and it's definitely a lot better and less edgier than what I remember from the show because Tokyo Ghoul and was one of those three animes, if you will, back in the day that debuted alongside, not in the same year, but it was a movement. It was uh, Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online, and Tokyo Ghoul. Those three shows sort of revolutionized anime for a new crowd, the Zoomer crowd, I guess. I don't know. But it definitely struck a chord with a lot of people. And just like Nightmare Before Christmas did its thing on Hot Topic, definitely Tokyo Ghoul had a defining influence in the youth from the 2000s onwards. So yeah, but the manga itself was actually pretty action packed, pretty cool. There were a couple chapters where the story dragged, definitely, and some of the human characters I did not care for whatsoever and thought they were pretty expendable, which they are. The ghoulish thing comparison, and establishing themes of racism and classism and all that stuff with having humans versus ghouls and all that stuff. That's always fun and neat, even though there's suffering in the actual storyline. But hey, I enjoyed what the mangaka was trying to tell, and I've already started reading the sequel series, RE or Re, however you pronounce it, and it's been pretty interesting so far. I'm only a few chapters in, and it's interesting. So yeah, I see some people in the chat. Thank you for joining. Babylon Shadows, Hayden, Happy New Year. JT Gamer, my dog chewed the Gwen Stacy action figure. Poor Gwen Stacy, she can't catch a break. I just got the Tokyo Ghoul RE box set. It recently went on sale on Amazon. I had to get it. If I had the space, I would get a lot of manga box sets for sure. And Tokyo Ghoul ones would definitely be on my display because those are some good looking box sets. Manga's a little bit oversized. It looks just right. And it has those beautiful covers and spines. It's poised to be on everybody's collection, in my opinion. It's a great looking box set. So yeah, congrats, man. So yeah, what else did I read aside from Tokyo Ghoul? I've been catching up on Shonen Jump series like Mori King, uh, the High School Family, which is kind of silly and it doesn't really make me laugh like when I first started reading it, but I'm reading it just to say that I've read it. I already started the thing. I don't want to drop it. Gomez is helping me get through that freaking manga because everything else it's all right. I'm also reading Black Clover and what was the other one that I was reading? It was a was it Death Unlock? Um, a Gravity Boys just ended, which is pretty shocking. I mean, it wasn't the huge hit I think that everybody expected it to be, but still, I thought it would have continued on for a little bit more, maybe a couple 20 or 30 more chapters, but it ended at chapter 50 with an epilogue. So hopefully, fans of the series can now grab it in collected edition, if you will, in the manga tankobon. And what else did I read? Um, I don't know. But aside from that ending, we also had news that Attack on Titan is finally ending after many, many months of speculation. A lot of people were speculating, is it going to end in 34 volumes, 35, 36, all that stuff. But it's going to be 34 volumes, if I remember correctly, and it ends in April. So that should be exciting. I am not reading it because I watched the show instead. And I am now joined by my on field reporter, the Omnibus Collector, who is going to recite some interesting news for everybody. Go ahead, Omnibus Collector.
Am I doing the sponsor?
You're my on field reporter. It's all right. But speaking of sponsor, I can do it. I totally forgot. I blanked out because I was talking about Attack on Titan. Most of the manga that we're going to be talking about tonight, you can probably score some really cool deals if you go to instocktrades.com. InStock Trades, where you get your collected editions and manga up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And hey, if you order $50 or more in your order, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service, wonderful packaging, only when you visit instocktrades.com. So there you go. I was telling our audience about the Attack on Titan finale.
Oh, I thought if it has to do with me, I was thinking maybe you wanted me to mention the slam dunk stuff.
Oh yeah, no. I was going through all the recent anime, manga news, and all that stuff. So I talked about Gravity Boys, and now I was on Attack on Titan. But you can go ahead and deliver the fantastic news because I know you're excited.
Yeah, so there's going to be a new slam dunk movie coming out. So I guess that's 30 years of celebration of slam dunk, probably.
I hope.
I guess that's what it's for. And of course, we're all hoping that it'll get new editions put out there, especially because recently it started to sell out and get a lot harder to find all of those volumes. So I'm hoping that movie is going to increase some of the attention that the series is getting, and Viz might consider putting out. I think the Viz big line is dead in the water, but I would say, some sort of special editions, probably based off of the recent, I think it was a 20 volume set that they put out in Japan.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But or maybe they could do Viz signature line, like the Tokyo Ghoul and Beastars, that size.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think they've done, the only paperback that they've done of a Shonen Jump series that was like signature size, outside of those Viz bigs that I was thinking about or mentioned that line's done. They did do the black editions of Death Note. Those are paperbacks. Otherwise, everything's like the hardcovers, like the hardcovers for JoJo and stuff like that. But I would love to see that, either one. And I don't know which volumes exactly are getting harder to find. I haven't looked in a little while, but I remember after I made a couple of videos, because I have at least 2 where I talk about Slam Dunk on my channel, and people were saying, like, oh man, it's hard to find some of the volumes. And I had to go and be like, well, this one's available here and this one's available here.
I haven't gotten around to getting it. I want to collect it, because it's out of print, and I don't feel like tracking down expensive single volumes. So I'm praying that we get either a digital release on the app or one of those fancy collected editions. One of the two. So I can finally read the damn thing. There are some comments here that I missed. Tyler says he is doing a reread of Full Metal Alchemist with the Full Metal Edition releases. That is really cool. There's a new one that just got solicited for April, May, something like that.
What number is it? Do you know?
Oh, shoot. I think 11. I might be wrong on that. Something like that.
I think 11 is the one that just I received recently.
Oh, well, I know it has Armstrong on the cover looking all badass, but
we're close to the end though, because it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like 17 total.
let me check. Give me a second. Also, Babylon says Black Clover got such a bad rep. It's actually not bad. It's a lot of fun. I love Black Clover. And yeah, a lot of people were judging it without giving it a shot, in my opinion. Cleveland Brown, Tokyo Ghoul revolutionized anime on what not to do when adapting a manga. Yeah, from what I read, some pretty silly decisions. And I was looking forward to reading the manga because I know how odd the ending of the anime was compared to the original. But that's what the mangaka wanted. He helped make that happen. He wanted that. He wanted the anime to be a what if scenario on some arcs.
It makes sense, like in a lot of ways when stuff happens like that, because anime is often used as marketing for the manga.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You put a lot of money into producing the television show that airs on TV. You don't really have to pay to watch it unless it's on cable TV. I don't know how cable and stuff works in Japan, but it works as a means to sell the manga. So if the anime ends on, differently than the manga, or the anime is adapted differently than the manga, it's successful if people are out buying it. There's a lot of times people are out buying the series because once the anime starts up, they're like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. I want to see what happens next. I want to stay caught up and be ahead of what's going on. And that it's true here and it's true overseas, but it's all marketing. It's really expensive marketing to sell the comics.
Mm-hmm. That is accurate. Shoot, I missed a post. Give me a second. But yeah, like you were saying, it's mostly a promotional thing. That's why you see a lot of shows that only do 12 or 13 episodes, and they no longer, unless it's a huge hit. For example, Gangsta, they only did one season, and it was just specifically to promote the manga. And when it ended, it left everybody in a cliffhanger, and that's it. You had to buy the manga to continue the story. I don't like that. If you're going to do that, at least give me a original ending or something, because there are a lot of people that like watching it, and not necessarily they're going to go ahead and spend money on buying it on the manga. But what are you going to do? Did you haul anything, by the way, or?
I do have stuff from last month, but it's all upstairs. I'm down here so that I can hang out with the dogs while my wife is out.
What about reads? Any cool reads recently?
Work has been hell this week, so I haven't gotten to read like much during the week, but I did. I'm reading the new volume that I have of High Rise Invasion, and that's been fun. That series has been fun. I really liked it at the beginning, and now it's still good, but it's getting an anime soon, I believe. So that's one that I'm sure more people are gonna be curious about in the near future. But it's a lot of fun. I really like that series.
Yeah. I wanted to highlight Ultimate Power because he corrected me here. Gangsta's anime studio went bankrupt. So there you go. um, Hayden is trying to do the Fangirls One Piece challenge. I may have underestimated how long this is. You're brave for doing that. 1,000 chapters in under a month. I ain't got time. It's
I
a
got way
valiant
too
effort.
much. I have way
Yeah.
too much other stuff that I need to catch up on. I'm like 6 weeks behind on weekly comics. I've got like 20 volumes of manga, recent releases that I still need to read. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and read chapter 1000 and call it a day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I did. So there we go.
Was it a good one? I'm not up to date with One Piece at all, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I
Was
mean,
it a good?
it's just moving the story along. It's funny though because like it's hyped because of the number. Like it's like, oh man, it's chapter 1000, but it's just another chapter. Like it's not like in Western comics, you know, when they hit big anniversary issues, they do like, you know, a double-sized issue with a bunch of short
Yeah.
stories tacked on, or like an anthology issue with a bunch of different short stories in there. You bring back a lot of old creators to get involved. It's not like that. Like it's just another 20-page chapter of One Piece, just developing what's going on, and they just tack a nice big double-page spread in the front of it to celebrate. Like it's a huge deal. Like we're at 1,000 chapters, but don't expect it to be like, you know, issue 800 of Spider-Man where they put a bunch of extra stuff in there.
Yep. Excuse me for a second. I am fixing something on our side behind the scenes. So assign. Oh, by the way, did you read the latest chapter of Modi King?
No, I'm 2 chapters behind on most of the new manga aside from One Piece, and I read the end of A Gravity Boys.
How was it? Because I'm halfway through that series. I'm on chapter 26 something, 26 or 27.
I'll say that you definitely could not tell that it was going to end. Like the last chapter definitely feels like they just shoved a lot of stuff in there together, but like the final arc, which was like 2 or 3 or 4 or something chapters, like it didn't really seem like it was going to be the final arc. But I know that it's, you know, like you had mentioned to me before, it's supposed to have that epilogue chapter in Jump Giga. So I'm hoping that winds up on the app. Otherwise, I'm going to have to find it through other means. Maybe it's going to be on the Manga Plus app.
That that Giga stuff, you can't get it anywhere, right? Legally, or like digitally, I should say.
I don't know. Like I don't know anything specifically that's been there for me to double check, because I don't really pay attention too much. I'm trying to see right now if I go on Shueisha's Manga Plus app if it might have anything.
Ultimate Power says he started reading Noragami. The art is really nice. That's another series I want to read. I haven't read that yet.
I don't see anything.
Oh, by the way, the FMA book I was talking about was volume 13. That's
13, okay.
For May, the first week of May. It's coming out.
Nice. So how many do we get? Like 3 or 4 per year or something like that?
I think it's 3. I might be wrong on that.
I'm just trying to think like when we're going to be done with those hardcovers, because I really like I like those hardcovers. That's
a series I want to double dip. I have the original anime. I got the Brotherhood stuff, and I've read the manga when it was coming out. I just never collected, but I kind of want to get those hardcovers. They look really nice.
Man, I remember like let's get nostalgic for a second. Like when they first started airing Full Metal Alchemist on Cartoon Network and stuff, and I remember I was, I think, a freshman, so you were probably a senior in high school or something at that time. Yeah, so and I remember it was just like the thing. And I'd heard about it because it had, you know, the name was one that was known and stuff. And then the manga starts coming out, and I had no idea how much it diverged. And I remember watching and being like, what the hell? Because then the manga's coming out in the US, and I'm reading that, and I'm expecting one thing, and then something completely different happens. And this is just before like I was spending all of my time on the internet reading things. And I really didn't read scans either. I had a friend who would read scans all day, every day, but I was like, I don't know, I didn't really have access to the computer that much, so I couldn't do it. And so I just waited for the volumes. And I remember just how much of I don't know, it was a little bit of a shock. Like I was like, whoa, like how different the plot goes.
Yeah.
And then I just continued reading the manga until the end and really loved it. And I watched the whole anime as well, and I enjoyed that for what it was. But then when I go back in comparison, I'm like, well. But I'll make the admission that I've not watched any of Brotherhood, because I have that issue where it's hard for me to watch an adaptation of something that I've already read. And it's something that I've mentioned before. I've talked about, like, I really don't watch adaptations if I've already read it. The only time that I've watched the adaptation after I read the series and could enjoy it was with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's like the only time I've been able to do that. And it's just, there's something about that series that really sets it apart.
Yeah. I mean, at least with Brotherhood, you're getting a solid adaptation. So maybe one day, if you introduce it to a family member or something, and you can watch it with them, because I think you're gonna like seeing all the cool moments brought to life with the music and the character voices and all that stuff.
I have to now travel to like grab a couple things because of this conversation.
Yes, love it. We're going on a journey.
Run upstairs outside my library in the media area where I have, damn it, I forget which switch turns on the light in here.
Yeah,
that one. So I don't know if you remember me saying this, Gio, but I was talking about how I wanted to do stuff with like with fillers specifically. Like I wanted to buy filler stuff and then just talk about the fillers and rate them and discuss them. These stories that were not from the original manga, because I'm such like a manga guy and not an anime guy. And so I found a really high quality bootleg of the Full Metal Alchemist, the original series, on Blu-ray.
Wow.
And I bought that because the Blu-ray by, what was it called?
Funimation?
Who does it? Was it Funimation? Yeah, that one's stupid expensive.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and bought the bootleg, and you can see the ring on there. Like it's clearly.
Oh, yeah.
And if you were able to see like a detailed look, like it's really fuzzy quality on the stuff, but it's cheap. Like I found it for, in comparison, I don't want to say how much I bought it for, but like it was a decent chunk of change, but it was really cheap compared to what the official sets go for. The only problem is I wish that it came with the movies, the sequel movies that came out. And then I see Tyler mentioning Pokemon Adventures back in the day. So I didn't read Pokemon Adventures back in the day. I didn't read Pokemon Adventures until recently. And I thought that Pokemon Adventures was the one that I had read back in the day, and it wasn't. And so I bought the paperback, like the original singles of Pokemon Adventures, Red and Blue, and I read it, and I'm like, I don't recognize any of this. What the hell? So I went online, and I'm like, oh, that's the one that I used to read. This is the one that that Viz put out in single issues in magazine format, and that was the Pokemon manga that I was familiar with when I was, in single digits and stuff, back in the mid to late 90s. And it was cool. It's more like a adaptation of the anime than anything, but it's just really fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was cool. Like, so I got all four of those. There's four paperbacks, and I got all of them, and I just kind of explored. Millie's in my spot.
Oh,
Move.
she won. That's hers now. N-Man says, when Cartoon Network aired FMA, was it edited? That was past the time I watched anime on TV and only bought it on DVD. I watched it for the very first time on Adult Swim. I think it had maybe one or two edits out for violent content, and I think the Rose stuff in the original series, what happens to her, which is really disturbing. I think some of that might have been edited. I'm not too sure, but for the most part, it was mostly uncensored because it aired late at night. I remember. I don't know if it went past midnight, but it was late at night, so it was Adult Swim.
Yeah, it was on the Adult Swim, so they are able to. But I couldn't really comment myself because I never watched it on DVD. I only watched it as it was airing.
Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. So with that said, let's go into the main topic at hand. All the manga that are coming out. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit late because last week we did the
Yeah.
you guys did. I wasn't there. The Omni Awards or whatever we call it. So we missed a week of manga and it's not listed. I'm full disclosure. I'm going to use the listing on Bright Stuff because it's all neat and tidy, and I didn't want to go through the process of getting 100 images and probably getting a strike on YouTube like last time. So yeah, we're gonna use their listing. It's all zoomed in, so I'm not gonna. It's not an ad. Don't worry about it, kids. Let's. Here we go. So we're missing a week that already passed. Stuff like My Hero Academia and a bunch of other random manga have already come out on different websites. So we're gonna go from, as you can see, these three are supposed to come out on the 12th, but they're already in stock at Bright Stuff. But we're gonna start from next week until the end of January. I zoomed in. I hope everybody can see it right. Tokyo Pop is coming back and doing Ocean of Secrets manga volume 3. We're also getting Beyond the Clouds volume 3. This is a series I want to check out and I keep forgetting. The art really looks kind of Ghibli-esque to me. I really want to check it out. We also have the Quintessential Quintuplets volume 12. I think we had the solicitor and we talked about it on the show that it's getting a box set with the first half of the series, I think. So you might be interested in that, or you might be picking up volume 12. We also are getting Hinamatsuri volume 11. Let me scroll up here. Case Closed or Detective Conan volume 77. This behemoth is still going. We're also getting Fly Me to the Moon, Tonikawa Volume 3. Really lovely series. The anime just ended, adapting a bunch of the manga volumes, and it was just wholesome. Loved it. Rene, Volume 37. Persona 5, Volume 5. You told me Rene was ending, right? Or it ended?
It has ended in Japan, I think, with volume 40. And
Cool.
I know that while I'm looking that up, just for clarification, Case Closed is like 100 volumes or something.
Oh,
Yeah, 40 volumes of Rene, so that would be ending sometime towards the latter part of this year, I would imagine. And yeah, I'm thinking about Case Closed because I was watching our friend Omar on his channel or at Near Mint Condition doing his monthly video of all the releases and stuff. And he went over the manga and mentioned Case Closed and was like 77. I don't know how long it's been going. Or how close the American release is. And this is something that's always bugged me with the Case Closed release is like how far behind they've maintained it, even though it's been running forever. Like there's been no efforts to speed up to get closer. There are 98 volumes right now in Japan.
Wow.
So we're 20 volumes behind, which It's kind of crazy. That first week though, I made my order for the first week, so I can at the very least, so people don't miss everything that's on there. Some of the
Oh,
highlights or
cool. Yeah.
my highlights, my lights. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0, High Score Girl Volume 5. I think that was in that week. Haikyuu 42, Promised Neverland 18, Moriarty the Patriot Volume 2. I read the first volume of that, and it was pretty good. So I'm going to get the second volume to kind of decide whether I want to continue with it.
Yeah.
And then Black Clover 24. And I don't know if these were from the end of last month or the beginning of this month, but I also at the same time have Drifting Dragons 7, Mob Psycho 100, the Reigen volume,
Hmm.
and To Your Eternity Volume 13, which is the first volume of like the second part of To Your Eternity.
Oh, hey, speaking of To Your Eternity, I got one of, not all, but one of the bundles with the holiday sale at Right Stuff. They had volumes 4, 5, and 6 for cheap, and I got those
Nice.
because I've had the first three manga volumes for ages, and I've neglected to keep continuing the series. So I'm like, you know what? I need to catch up. I've only read the first three books and just completely forgot about the series. So I got that.
Good.
Yeah. Did I meant? Yeah, I said Persona 5. Was that all from that first week?
That's everything that I ordered. I can't speak on
All
every
right.
single volume, but I just wanted to give the highlights on my side.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. We're also getting Splatoon Volume 11. It's crazy that we already have 11 volumes of Splatoon in manga form, and yet Metroid gets neglected by Nintendo. That's something. Pokemon Sun and Moon Volume 9 is also coming out, as well as Yokai Watch Volume 16. And something that a lot of people are excited about, it is A Man and His Cat Volume 3, another lovely cat manga. We are also getting, let's see, Kimagure Orange Road Volume 6, the Weathering with You manga adaptation. This is Volume 2. A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation, Volume 2 from Tokyo Pop, and Bang Dream Girls Band Party Rosalia Stage Volume 2 from Tokyo Pop. Tokyo Pop looks like they want to get back into it. It's kind of weird seeing them again.
Yeah.
Here we have another wave live lessons with Uramichi Onisan, Volume 2. How the heck do I pronounce this? Possums, Volume
Yeah,
6.
opossums, something like that.
They're possums with A at the front. Volume 6 from Sutumo Nihei. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry. Here's another heavy hitter that a lot of people are excited about. Blood on the Tracks Volume 4. I know a lot of people are going to be picking that up. And Adachi and Shimamura Volume 1. Somebody was asking on the Otaku's farm on Facebook how long the series is. I'm like, no, it's still going. Don't worry about it. We're going to be collecting it for a while because Japan just had volume 9 or 10, and the story still has a long ways to go. I read I'm up to date with that, and there's still a bit more story to tell. Let's see. Cirque du Freak is getting a manga adaptation. So here we have Omnibus Volume 1. We also have Combatants Will Be Dispatched. This is by the same creator that wrote was it Konosuba? I think it's Konosuba. And the one with the wrestling dude, Isekai. I forgot the name. I told you about it, that he opens a pet shop in another world. Oh, I'm blanking on that series, but he's the creator of those shows and light novels. So if you like that, if you like Konosuba, you might want to check this out. Combatants Will Be Dispatched. It's also getting an anime, either this season or the following one in spring, but it's coming out soon. Another really cool release that's coming out that I highly recommend is Asadora from Naoki Urasawa. I know a lot of people are going to be excited about that because that is his latest work, and it's coming out, Volume 1. Um, the Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 1, is also out, as well as Beastars, Volume 10. Currently doing a read through, started from Volume 1 all over again to get prepared for Season 2.
Damn, seeing a lot of these that are already available, I'm like, shit, I gotta make an order.
Yeah. We also have Children of the Whales, Volume 16. I love those covers. I'm probably not going to check it out anytime soon, but I love the art on that series. We also have Dear No Man, Volume 1, and Dead Demons, Dead, Destruction, Volume 9. I love watching, don't tell anybody, but I love watching different manga YouTubers, and everybody says the name differently. I love it. The Destruction. Anyways.
I sometimes just call it Dead Demons instead of going any further because I don't want to like, and I get so much flack for mispronouncing things on my channel already. So if I'm like Dead Demons D, like Dead King D.
I love it. Between that and freaking Dorohedoro and Dororo and Durarara, it's a lot of repetition, man. So yeah, that's coming out along with Hell's Paradise, Jigo Kuraku, Volume 6. This reminded me of Sakura from Naruto.
Yeah.
Weird. Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody, Volume 10. Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, Volume 15. And, here's another good one. Delicious in Dungeon, Volume 9 is also coming out. We're also getting Grim Reaper and Four Girlfriends. That sounds like a lovely rom-com. Heterogenea Linguistico, Volume 2. That is this from the same dude? No, it's not from the same dude, but it looks straight up like Delicious in Dungeon.
I almost bought it because of how close it looked, but I was like, I can't. I got way too much stuff already going on. I can't.
Here is a new one that I've never seen before. Mama Akuma. It's a weird name. Mint Chocolate, Volume 1. What the heck is this about? I wanna read. Give me a second. Mama Akuma is the story about Seti or Sete is a subordinate demon to Amaimon, the Eastern King of Hell. Serious in his work, he prides himself on his ability to make any wish come true, but when he's summoned from a grimoire, what awaits him is a little girl with but one wish. Please be my mama. Sete's long road to motherhood starts here. Okay. Interesting. Moving on. ReZero Starting Life in Another World, Manga Chapter 4, Volume 1. This is the manga adaptation of the light novel. We also have A Centaur's Life, Volume 19. Rosie in the Labyrinth, Volume 1. We also are getting I'm Standing on a Million Lives, Volume 9. Trinity 7. Watch out because this is not for kids. Trinity 7, Volume 22. The World's Strongest Rearguard Labyrinth Countries Novice Seeker, Volume 3. Gigant, Jess's favorite manga from 2020. Volume 4. This series is such a mixed bag. There are a lot of aspects that I really love about it, and a lot of things where I'm like, bro, this is so wacky. I can't, with a straight face, recommend it without laughing. But it has some good ideas in it. It's just bizarre and filled with nudity, so be warned. This is a spinoff from The Ancient Magus Bride. We got The Ancient Magus Bride, Jack Flash, and the Fairy Case Files, Volume 2. Got a little bit more risque titles here. Kuma 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 Bear, Volume 4. I just reviewed the anime, or a little bit of it, on my channel if you want to check it out. Tamamo Chan's a Fox. It is a furry. Calm down. but the premise is actually pretty interesting. She gets isekai'd into our world instead of the other way around. So she's a anthropomorphic fox teen thing, and she's in school and whatnot. The only reason I know all of this is because Seven Seas sent me solicits for it, and I did an episode with Nelson talking about it. It's not that I'm interested. Don't freak out. We're also getting the Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter, Volume 2. I think this is also getting an anime soon. Magus of the Library, not to be confused with the Ancient Magus Bride. This is totally different.
It does get confusing.
Yeah, definitely. 47 Ronin. I think this is a comic. It's not a manga. Why is this here?
That's Stan Sakai.
And Mike Richardson.
You mentioned the other day because they have this and they have Usagi.
Usagi,
and you're like, you said what? You're not helping our cause, right? Stuff.
Oh yeah. Because we champion the idea that Usagi's great. Don't get me wrong; it's a fantastic comic, but it's a comic book. It's not a manga, and yet, it Stan Sakai's in it. Let's just list it as a manga, and it's in here somehow. Anyways, The Conditions of Paradise, Azure Dreams. I read the first volume. This is a Yuri anthology book. If you're into that stuff, it has at least the first one. For me, it was a little bit of a mixed bag. Some stories were nice, others were a little bit kind of fantastic. Now this, however, I'm a big fan of. I like slime manga. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level, volume 4. I did a review on my channel if you want to check it out, Week in Geekdom, where I talked about volume 1, and it's actually pretty fun. It's a funny isekai slime manga. We're also getting Saichi's Monstrous Appetite, volume 1. Here we go with The Vampire and His Pleasant Companions, Volume 1. Bungo Stray Dogs, Volume 17. Fiance of the Wizard, Volume 2. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Volume 10. It's also coming out on the last week, along with Fire Force, Volume 21. Danganronpa, Goodbye Despair, or Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, Volume 3. To the Abandoned Sacred Beast, Volume 11. Angels of Death, Volume 11 as well. Let's see. Orient, Volume 1. This is a new release. This is from the same mangaka from, the one with Sinbad. What was it?
Maggie or Magi, whatever.
Maggie, Magi, whatever.
I don't know how they pronounce it. However it's pronounced, I said it wrong in a video once. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
I think pointed it out to me.
I hear everybody say Magi, even though it's supposed to be Magi, but whatever. Orient, if you're interested, is from Shinobu Utaka, the creator of Magi. This says at age 10, best friends Musashi and Kojiro sat in exiled silence as Kojiro's father spun tales of evil demons who preyed on the innocent and the warriors who defeated them. Practicing swordplay, the two swear an oath to become the strongest in the world. But as they grow up, Kojiro turns cynical and Musashi comes to realize that he can't turn back 150 years of demon rule on his own. He's being called a prodigy with a pickaxe, and he's almost ready to settle for a life of labor. Yet he can't shake the feeling that he still has a responsibility to act, and soon the injustices of his world will force his hand. So that tells me a little bit, but not much. But judging by the cover, it has a lot of fantastical qualities to it. So I do expect magic to be involved somehow. We're also getting Hakume and Mikochi Tiny Little Life in the Woods, Volume 8. I've heard good things about this. Kind of want to check it out.
A lot of people talking about that one more recently.
Yeah. Seven Deadly Sins, Volume 41. I thought Volume 40 was the last one, but it's still going.
This is it. That's it.
That's the last one?
That's the last one, 41.
Nice. Oh, that sucks. They should have ended it in 40 and make like a chunky volume.
Dude, right? That's always one of those things where I'm like, damn it, why didn't they get a nice even number to end on?
This one you made a video on, Great Priest Emotep Volume 7 is coming out. Let's see. We've got Sayonara Football, Farewell, My Dear Kramer Manga Volume 3. Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches Omnibus Edition, Volumes 23 and 24. Soul Eater, the Perfect Edition, the hardcover, Volume 3.
I'm still not sold on Soul Eater just yet. I've read the first two hardcovers, and it was my first time with the series, and I don't know how I feel. The characters are cool, and I like the designs, but the story hasn't hit that stride for me just yet.
I would say around these are two. Or is this like
they're like
Alchemist?
Yeah, it's like FMA. They're like 1.5 volumes.
I would say maybe around volume 5, you start to see where the story's headed, and you either really like it or you're ready to drop it. In my opinion,
5 of the hardcovers.
Yeah, because I really like it, and even though I never read the manga, because the manga, I'm confused. Wait a minute. The anime, I watched the anime, and I read some of the manga, and the stuff that's not covered in the anime, I've not read yet. That's what I wanted to say. But I could see where I was going, and I read some spoilers, and I like the series, and I do want to collect this eventually. But yeah, give it a shot. I don't know. Here we have The Misfit of Demon King Academy, Volume 3. I talked about the anime on my channel if you guys want to check it out. Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka, Volume 10. Showman Sample, Volume 14. Our Teachers Are Dating, Volume 2. You know, that happened in my school once, and it got both of them fired. So, yeah, that was hilarious back in the day. This is a story like 15 years ago. Anyways, we're going to end it on some fan servicey stuff. Yep. Cutie and the Beast, Volume 2. The Demon Girl Next Door, Volume 1. Welcome to Succubus High, Volume 2. This I know Jess and Omar are getting. And Destiny Lovers, Volume 5. That's it to round out January. So there's a lot of books, but not a lot of heavy hitters like other months.
Yeah, I noticed that I have a lot less on my list for January than I had, and that's not a bad thing. But it's also true for Western comics too. My list of wants on the Western side are kind of slim this month.
Yeah. Let me check real quick here. The only thing I'm interested actually in getting is Asadora and My Hero Academia, which I did not get last week or this week.
And 47 Ronin, the manga.
47 Ronin, Beastars Volume 10. That's about it for me. Just those 3. But yeah, it's a pretty light week. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. Depends on your reading budget, habits, and collection.
So I've got the ones that I bought, and then I think I highlighted most of the stuff that I was going to get, but let me just log in here and see what's in my save for later pile.
Yeah, Babylon already answered. Sorry. He asked if Destiny Lovers is a sequel to Prison School. No. Looks kind of boobalicious, but no.
So I've got for this month. Oh wow, that got pushed back. I guess because I put everything in my like save for later.
Yeah.
I read the first 2 hardcovers, so I did get into the main story, but I put all my save for later stuff for the month, and I guess that Wave Listen to Me Volume 5 was solicited at some point for January, but now it's for March. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that so I don't get confused. So Opossums, Asadora, Beastars, Blood on the Tracks, Dead Dead Demons, Delicious in Dungeon, Fire Force, Hell's Paradise, Levius, which I think Levius came out last week, but it's not in stock, so I didn't order it last week because I didn't want to hold stuff up. Orient and things have been held up anyway, so there we go. Soul Eater and Seven Deadly Sins. So aside from the stuff that I ordered last week, I've got a dozen more for this month.
Awesome. Ultimate Power says the first 3 chapters of Soul Eater were one-shots 2 years before the manga was serialized, so that's why the first hardcover is underwhelming. It's amazing as it gets going. Yeah, the later part of Soul Eater is fantastic, and the stuff, obviously, that the manga ending, I have not read personally, but I do know what happens in it, and it's awesome, and I can't wait. I want to collect it just because of that, and the villain in Soul Eater, which I'm not going to spoil, is actually one of my favorite villains. I really like that character. By the way, you were mentioning Wave Listen to Me. Which volume were you mentioning? Volume 3 or 4?
5.
5? That was moved to March.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is that volume 6 is solicited for April. And with that, we're going to be caught up with Japan because there's only 6 volumes in Japan. So,
okay. Well, that explains probably why it's delayed a little bit, which makes sense. I was thinking about something else that was relevant that needed to be talked about, but now I don't even remember.
About a feature release, maybe? Or
I don't know. I don't remember anything anymore.
Definitely, from the stuff that we highlighted today, I think everybody should get Asadora. I don't know if anybody wants me to go over the description, but I can do that before we wrap up. I believe this was started in 2018 or 19. I'm not too sure. Let's see.
You're saying when it started?
Yeah, in Japan, because it's fairly new. Let me check on good old Wikipedia. It says October 2018.
This is most recent, if I'm not mistaken. Still waiting for Billy Bat.
Oh, man, yeah. That premise sounds fantastic. I really want to read it.
I know, like, he's the one that said, Urasawa is the one that said he doesn't think that it can be published in the US because of Disney. Because the character in there, he thinks, looks too close to Mickey Mouse. And I don't know anyone in their right mind who would look at that character and think this looks like Mickey Mouse. It looks more like something from like a Max Fleischer cartoon than a Walt Disney cartoon.
Yeah,
and
that don't look like it.
Like, secondly, even if it does look like the character, you're not going to get in trouble because you're not trying to sell it as such. You're not trying to you're not trying to sell a character as if they are Mickey Mouse. If you were, then we wouldn't be able to have stuff like games like Cuphead and Bendy. Like, there's so many different things out there in media that have similar, like, you know, iconic looking mascots that you could make the comparisons to. So it's weird. And I don't know if that's the only reason why they haven't done it yet, but
yeah. By the way, while we're talking about Urasawa, if you guys can, check out the documentary series that he has on YouTube. Or it aired on Japan, but they uploaded it to YouTube. Some of them actually have subtitles, so you can understand what they're talking about. And there's a really cool episode of that series, I guess, where he's interviewing Junji Ito, and they're going over their process and drawings and stuff, and it's really fascinating. So I do recommend that. I don't remember the name, but just Google Urasawa Junji Ito interview, and it should pop up. I think it was from last year or maybe 2019. I'm not too sure. Asadora, real quick, for anybody that's new and wants to know what the heck we're talking about, is a manga about a deadly typhoon, a mysterious creature, and a girl who won't quit. In 2020, a large creature rampages through Tokyo, destroying everything in its path. In 1959, Asa Asada, a spunky young girl from a huge family in Nagoya, is kidnapped for ransom, and not a soul notices. When a typhoon hits Nagoya, Asa and her kidnapper must work together to survive. But there's more to her kidnapper and this storm than meets the eye. So you can probably imagine all the crazy stuff that's going to happen. So I'm really excited about that. It has such a wonderful, wacky story. I can't wait to read it. Let me close here for a second. There we go. So that is that. That's all the stuff that's coming out in January. Not a heavy month. There was still a lot of stuff that I mentioned, but not. It's not filled with heavy hitters like the Omni Apocalypse weeks that we like to talk about with the omnibuses.
It's
But
also not filled with. There were no big releases, like not like oh big series, but like no hardcover stuff that I remember us going over. Um,
yeah,
Berserk, Helsing, Blade of the Immortal, none of those. I think since we're done with Sailor Moon, we're just waiting on Sailor V. There's none of
hmm
that. We're done with Knights of Sidonia. Like I was noticing that myself. Um, a bunch of those big expensive releases that I've been buying all ended recently.
yeah.
So I'm like, that's
Um,
nice.
Next month, we're gonna see a lot of the famous ones from Shonen Jump, like Boruto, Chainsaw Man. I know Demon
Yeah.
Slayer also has a new volume. Blade of the Immortal Volume 2 comes out next month. February is going to be intense. So I'm looking forward to that. But that's that. Jess Mason, thank you for joining, man. We're just wrapping up, but you can watch the replay and enjoy us going over manga. Tolga just bought Gigant 1 through 3. Have not read it, but the artwork is beautiful if you like Gantz. Yeah, don't be. I mean, obviously, if you don't like the premise, that's okay. That's no. I'm not forcing you to like it, but if you can get past the silliness, I think you're gonna have a fun time. Volume 1 is not indicative of what the series can be. It takes Volume 2 and 3 to really get going, where you freaking get a giant lady, even though she's naked, whatever. She's fighting giant monsters in beautiful rendered art, and she's ripping monsters apart, and it's crazy. There's time travel, government hijinks, social commentary, romance. It has everything. But again, I know a lot of people aren't going to read it because of the craziness. Yeah, later on it gets even wilder with devil characters and other crazy hijinks. Uh, somebody was mentioning earlier about the Colossal Editions of Attack on Titan. Volume 6 got
6.
solicited
So
for later in the year. Yeah. Oh, there,
yeah,
Ant-Man.
so
Ant-Man's on it. There we go.
I was actually surprised because as N-Man's saying they take forever. Like I feel like the release of 6 came a lot sooner than what I was thinking it would be because of
Yeah.
how long it took for specifically 5. I feel like we waited approximately 4 million years for that to come out after the contents were already available. So that was
Yeah.
annoying. Um, Soul Eater, yeah, that is hardcover, but I'm not really counting that or FMA as like the big releases because they're big, but they're not like big.
Yeah. Meat Pete, thank you for joining, man. Do you think Chainsaw Man will come in a more complete collected edition someday? I missed the release of the first trade paperback. I think it's gonna be a while. I think it has to come out fully in Japan, and for us to get all those volumes, for them to think, hey, let's do like a box set or something. I think we'll get a box set instead of a
Yeah.
uh, deluxe edition.
Like we mentioned earlier when talking about Slam Dunk, it's very rare that the Shonen Jump titles wind up getting re-released in these editions. At the most, they do like the 3-in-1 paperback little standard size omnis.
Yeah.
But I agree. We might see a box set later on, but shoot, I wouldn't hold my breath at all about like 2-in-1s or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking, before we wrap up, I'm looking online for the release date of Volume 6. So give me a quick second here while I look for it.
I can
Um,
look
just
at.
Mason, I'm getting the biggish FMA as I haven't read it and reckon that would be the way to go. Definitely get that instead of the smaller ones. Tolga says, has no one read Children of the Whales? I haven't, unfortunately. It looks really interesting, but I haven't read it.
Okay, so Attack on Titans. I don't see a date.
Oh, I think I got it.
Oh wait, no, I think we were
Shadow.
both thinking of Volume 5 and not Volume 6.
Wait.
Wait, no, we are thinking. Okay, I'm confused as shit.
No. Our
6
boy.
is upcoming.
Yeah, it's upcoming. Our boy Brooks posted the solicit from one of the Edelweiss book
Yeah, and
catalog.
it doesn't have the date though. That's what
Doesn't
I
have
was
the
looking
date.
at too.
Yeah.
It got confusing because the solicit says Attack on Titan Colossal Edition 5 is an
Yeah.
oversized collection of 26, and I was like, wait a second, and then I went back and I'm like, no, this is
Yeah.
6. They're wrong, not me. It's them.
It's them. Collects volumes 26 to 30. So volume 7 should be the last one, 31 to 34.
But yeah, I don't see a date on there anywhere.
But all the other solicits that he found are in between June and August. So it should be in the summer that
Summer.
we see the release of it. Because he also talked about the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 that's coming out in August. Censor from Junji Ito is coming out in August. The other one that he posted was FMA Volume 14. That's in August as well. And Fist of the North Star, June. So I think July should be Attack on Titan. Summer, basically.
And then Volume 7 will be the last one. Because they're saying the manga's ending in April, and that 34 should be the last volume. So Volume 7 will be a bit smaller with just 4 volumes.
Yeah. Tolga, I promise I will try my hardest to read it. I just need to fit it in my schedule of things. But I do want to check it out. It looks really cool.
I'm not going
I
to
want
try
to
at
add
all.
I want to add that to your eternity, and because it has similar vibes going, so we'll see. All right, that is about that. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This chat is always lively and awesome. You guys are the real MVPs of the Omnibus Collectors Network. Thank you so much. When these manga come out, you can actually grab them at really good prices if you go to instocktrades.com. IST, as we like to call them, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And if you order $50 or more on your collected edition, guess what? You get free shipping, fantastic customer service, and wonderful packaging only through instocktrades.com. So, everybody, thank you so much. You can find me on my channel, We Can Geek Them, where I talk about anime, manga, and comics. What about yourself, Omnibus Collector, Riley?
You can find me on my channel, the Omnibus Collector, as it says right down there. And I have, hopefully we'll edit pretty soon, my video going over what Dark Horse manga need to get that hardcover treatment. I said hardcover instead of hardcover.
Yeah. And man, shoot for it, because go for it, because we're wrapping up. Go for it. A little last minute off topic question. Go for it. You got like a minute, because I think we need to be going. I know you asked that earlier when I started, and I do apologize for that. I got sidetracked by all the awesome comments, all the wonderful people. And if you're watching this, hit the like button. It really helps out a ton, pushes our show further and further. And we want to break into that manga YouTuber thingamajig. You see all those manga tubers or whatever they call themselves. We want to go in there into that area and be like, hey, we're here too, and we're gonna talk about some manga.
It's weird because I don't feel like I'm in there with my channel myself either. Like I feel like I get the attention of some of the people, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It just seems like I'm just my thing. Like I'm kind of on the precipice of comic YouTube and manga YouTube.
my
Um,
channel is sort of in the middle of everything because I'm talking about three separate things. And I think it does hurt me in the long run, but I like all three and I want to talk about all three. So, whatever. But yeah, we're sort of like the little bubble on the niche collected editions YouTube space. Tolga, thanks everyone. I was off for about 1.5 years, but I'm back. Thanks, Riley and Gio. I started watching videos again. Thank you so much for joining again because we missed you, man. Thank you. Um, oh, okay. Okay, I know Gabe is the one that has the shelfies, but could one of the other Omnibros show shelfies? I'm sure not the only one, but Gabe seems to be not interested most of the time. Gabe is super busy with his house move, and I don't think he's going to be on for a while because he told us he's doing that stuff. If you've got manga, um, if you got manga shelves, send them my way on where's the freaking email? Here omnibroslive@gmail.com. And on our next stream, we're going to feature them. If your shelf has manga, send them to the email and put like in parentheses or something my name or I don't know for me, and I'll look for it. And we'll do the shelfie tour with manga included. So how about that? How about that? All right, so that's it. Babylon, Endman, Tolga, everybody else, Oxme, Pete, Just Mason, everybody in the chat, thank you. You guys are awesome. God bless. We got to go. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for our next stream, which will be Sunday with Mr. Jess Bragg and Coffee with the Omnibros, talking about random stuff from pop culture and comics. So thank you, everybody. Good night. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you on the next episode, whatever that